Little tangent here on the phone.
Yeah.
You shoot on an iPhone?
Yeah, most of
Okay.
it.
Because I have a Samsung Galaxy, and my friends hate me for it. They hate me for like I had an argument with my friend the other day, and it's not that
Hey,
I'm
bud,
against.
if you have a friend that hates you for what kind of phone you have, get a different friend.
Yes, he's gonna see this. So, but here, this is his take on this thing, right? So, look, I have an iMac at home. We work, on both PC and Apple here at the office. I'm not against Apple, but there was like a cult that formed over the iPhone in the beginning, and I'm a little bit of a contrarian. So I got myself a Samsung Galaxy, which is a good phone, nice phone. But my friends all airdrop stuff to themselves within the group, and they can't do it with myself. I always have to ask them, like, can you email? Because Apple hates Galaxy users, so they make it impossible for us to communicate. And then, they also, my friend Stefan, I'm just going to call him out. He loves to do his voice notes as he's driving, so he's not texting, and he can't send me a voice note through text.
Okay.
And he says that, like, I'm the one that's making his life harder because he can't send me a voice. And I'm like, no, you're making my, first of all, I don't want your voice text. Okay. So that's a reason I'm not, but isn't he like,
this is this is a deep conversation we're having here, but I'm glad we're having it because I think that it's going to better your life. Hey, like I said, if a friend is judging you based on the type of cell phone you have, you might need to judge the type of friend he is.
Okay.
Where would you like us to take you? Excuse me, sir, you're clear for the jungle gym? Okay, he instantly changed his mind. He's not letting go of the truck. Not letting go of the truck.
Sir.
Sir, will you please let go of the truck?
Sir. Okay, let's go this way.
We got bogey. Please step away, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't want to have to taser you. Please step away.
All right.
At least 20 feet, please. Thank you. That's not 20 feet. Ma'am, I will pull out my taser.
It's fun, isn't it, sir?
All right. I am here with Shane Hartline, TikTok star, actor, comedian, right? Sketch comedian. Do you do stand-up comedy?
Never done stand-up. I did mostly improv, I guess, before the pandemic happened.
Okay, we'll actually talk about a little bit of the rivalries between stand-up comedians and improv a little bit. But
Sure.
Shane, you were on Checkitow.
I am pumped to be here.
Cling! Dude, the first thing I want to talk to you about is your TikTok. That's taken off. Some of the sketches are hilarious. I love the baby bodyguards. That's my personal favorite. So how did that whole, your whole TikTok persona come about?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I've been posting content on the internet since YouTube started. And I've had videos over the years that would hit and do decent, but this is really the first platform that I've ever had that's connected like this. It's been pretty crazy and really very quickly. And what I did is, so I joined TikTok about a year ago, but in the past 3.5 months, I went from 2,000 followers to like I'm at like 240,000 now. And what hit was those baby bodyguard videos. I just started posting snippets of those videos, and we shot those videos years ago, so it was wild because I had all of this content of those videos that I was just every day for like weeks posting, and every one of them hit. So I gained this audience really quickly. And then while I was posting it, I was like, mixing in my other characters and impressions and that kind of stuff. So it's happening very quickly on TikTok, which it's really cool. And as an actor, and especially right now in the industry, I'm trying to just use this momentum and use it to promote my other things and, gain as much traction from it as I can.
Now, okay, so when did you do the baby bodyguard, and how did that idea come up? Because it's just, God, there's something about, when you use babies and kids, and an adult situation type of comedy sketch is just, I don't know. It brings the absurdity of the situation like
there's an unpredictability too with kids, like, and that's what I think people enjoy, like, as well as like watching a kid with an adult. It's not like, especially a baby, that 9 times out of 10, like what they're doing is very natural and real, and they're not being like, yes, there's some babies that like you can push and persuade to do certain things, but most babies are like, they're marching to the beat of their own drum. And so I produced those videos with a buddy of mine. He's a very successful online creator. He goes by Dude Dad, and he produces a lot of like parent content, like kid, parent-based content with kids and that kind of thing. So I was just a part of it years ago, and he produced these. I think we did our first one in 2017, 2016, something like that. And then we did a couple of them, and he was just posting them to YouTube and Facebook, and they were very successful on those platforms. And then like, I was just mainly an actor in it, and I would help him produce them a little bit. But then when I was like on my TikTok, I would just, like I said, I was just occasionally posting clips of things I had already done. And I started posting those clips, and people connected with them like on a massive level, and to the point where I ran out of footage and I had to contact him and be like, hey man, I kind of need to make more of these, like, because people are digging it. But yeah, I think it's just, it's wild. I think like I said, with babies, it's just, you never know what you're going to get. And then especially taking a baby and just really, we just set them free out in public. And, and if you just dress up like a bodyguard, 9 times out of 10, people are going to be like, oh, I guess we should kind of stay out of the way and like, let this baby do their thing. Must be an important baby.
You know what? You grew up on like Saturday morning and like kids cartoons, right? When those were still around. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like this could have been a cartoon. Like, the babies would be the central characters, and then they had these bodyguards. It was just like so cartoonish and hit. Why do you think that it hit so much on the TikTok platform? I mean, did you put some of the baby videos up on YouTube or Instagram, or did you focus on TikTok?
Well, he did. Yeah, my buddy did years ago when we initially made them. He had them up on, and they're still up on Facebook and YouTube and stuff. But I don't know, TikTok's really interesting, and it's really an amazing platform. Like, there's no platform like it really right now. That the algorithm is so interesting, and it's not really a computer from what I hear. It's like humans that are like reviewing this content, and if it's good content, they will push it because they want people to be on their platform. And so I don't know, it's like TikTok is very, of course, like bingeable content, and so if it's good, like 9 times out of 10 on TikTok, your content will connect with people. And then what you have to do is, if you want to continue building that platform on TikTok, once something connects, you better keep giving them that thing that they came for. I try to do that as much as possible. With the baby bodyguard specifically, they're hard to maintain. It's a hard concept to give somebody on a daily basis. So when I shoot something, I try to make it last and stretch it out and release it over time. But I also, like I said, try to mix in my characters and impressions and clips from acting projects I've been a part of, and other content to, fill in the gaps and stuff.
Now I'm a little late to the TikTok game. So you're like our I want you to be like kind of like my resident TikTok expert.
I got you.
Explain the difference between like, making these things for YouTube and making them for TikTok. And I remember Vine, right? Because TikTok is shorter, right? First and foremost, TikTok is shorter.
60 seconds. You can go up to 60 seconds.
So explain like the nature of how you would edit a TikTok video versus how you would edit something on YouTube or somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting because I see all kinds of content on TikTok. I see people that you can clearly tell are just repurposing content that's being made for other platforms. And then you can tell people that are making content specifically for TikTok. And that's what's interesting, is like, I've seen all kinds of things hit. So it's hard for me to say like, this is what works on TikTok, because I've seen so many types of content work. But what I just would say best is, what I would suggest if someone's wanting to, dive into TikTok and make content specifically for it is do just that. Make content that's specifically for TikTok. And it sounds silly, but like shoot content vertically. So when somebody's watching it, they know that this content is made for them. That's what typically connects with my audiences, or what started to connect is, I was taking content we shot years ago, but I was re-editing it and repurposing it to fit the full screen. And because it's hard sometimes when you shoot a video vertically to just like stretch it full screen, because you may be off camera outside of the phone's view, so you will have to move the video and re-edit it literally for a cell phone. So I would just suggest that is like, do what you do what you enjoy to do, and be true and authentic, but make it for TikTok. And another tip that I've learned, and that people have told me, and TikTok friends of mine, is that hook them quickly. Like, so if you're making a video for TikTok, let the viewer know within the first 3 to 5 seconds what it is they're about to consume. And then they'll hopefully you're hopefully hooking them into watching the whole minute. And it's funny that it's like, I got to hook somebody to watch a minute of content that they're just going to hopefully press a like and then scroll on to the next thing. But really that's the world of content we're in now. It's just, bingeable, boom, on to the next thing. And hopefully they like it. But TikTok is a crazy platform, and it is the only platform I've ever experienced in 15 years of making content that you can literally overnight have 1 million followers. Like, it's literally happened to people. It's been life-changing for people, and for me too. Like, I'm fortunate to now be making a little money on it. And, but for me, like, I'm just trying to use it. I enjoy doing it, but I'm trying to use it to gain leverage for my acting projects. And hopefully, when I pitch movie ideas and TV show concepts, that I can be like, I can back it with numbers, because that is leverage these days.
Amazing. Well, congrats on that. Do you think that TikTok is also moving people to shoot more stuff directly on their phone? Because I assume that you want to shoot stuff quality, right? You want to shoot something on a good camera, but then, like you said, at post, you're going to have to cut it and make it look like it's on a phone anyway. So a lot of people just like, forget about the cameras and let's just shoot it on our phone. It'll make it easier in post.
Dude, 100%. I'll tell you this. I have a 6K camera. I used to be so, I would just overthink quality, and I still love shooting like short films and things of high quality and putting a lot of effort into it. But I learned very quickly that does not really matter on TikTok. I shoot pretty much everything on my cell phone. Wow. And most of the things that I shoot that connect are just from my cell phone. So I would tell people, don't get hung up on how things look. I think that it's more important that it's well lit, I think, is an important thing. When something's dark, I tend to see that it doesn't connect with people that much. But as long as it's well lit, your phones now can shoot 4K. Like,
what about the sound though? Are you using the sound on the phone? Do you have an additional microphone? Yeah.
Nope, just straight off the cell phone. Especially like if it's in my apartment, like most of my shoots are right now. Like, sound is good as is. But there are, I have friends that buy like little lapel mics you can plug into your iPhone. Like, there are little cheaper accessories that you can, if you're shooting out in public or something.
Okay, little tangent here on the phone. Yeah. You shoot on an iPhone?
Yeah, most of it.
Because I have a Samsung Galaxy, and my friends hate me for it. They hate me for, like, I had an argument with my friend the other day, and it's not that.
Hey, bud, if you have a friend that hates you for what kind of phone you have, get a different friend.
Yes, he's gonna see this. So, but this is his take on this thing, right? So, look, I have an iMac at home. We work, on both PC and Apple here at the office. I'm not against Apple, but there was like a cult that formed over the iPhone in the beginning, and I'm a little bit of a contrarian. So I got myself a Samsung Galaxy, which is a good phone, nice phone. But my friends all airdrop stuff to themselves within the group, and they can't do it with myself. I always have to ask them, like, can you email? Because Apple hates Galaxy users, so they make it impossible for us to communicate. And then, they also, my friend Stefan, I'm just gonna call him out. He loves to do his voice notes as he's driving, so he's not texting, and he can't send me a voice note through text.
Okay.
and he says that like I'm the one that's making his life harder because he can't send me a voice, and I'm like, no, you're making my. First of all, I don't want your voice text. Okay, so that's a reason I'm not. But he isn't he like.
This is this is a deep conversation we're having here, but I'm glad we're having it because I think that it's going to better your life. Hey, like I said, if a friend is judging you based on the type of cell phone you have, you might need to judge the type of friend he is.
Okay, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna show him this clip. But I mean, but do you know anybody that does stuff on TikTok that does it on a Galaxy, or is everyone
sure?
just shooting on
I mean,
iPhone?
I think it doesn't matter what type of phone you're using because you can literally shoot it. I mean, I'm sure the Galaxy has a great camera too, and you can also shoot things externally. Like I sometimes will. Like I have little handy cams and stuff that I'll shoot things externally if I need to, and then import it into my cell phone and upload it to TikTok. But I'm also like, it sounds funny, but I'm shooting things on my phone, exporting the footage to my computer, editing it on my computer, and then bringing it back to my cell phone.
Okay, I'd love to do that, but my Apple doesn't like to read my Samsung Galaxy, so I might have to just cave. I might have to cave and get like a used iPhone.
There are ways around that possibly though. Like, do you have, there's gotta be like a Dropbox app or something on the Galaxy.
I do, but you know what, man? I have so many things and you know, it would be fine if I could use like the same couple of passwords, but you know how like some of these apps make you change your password and no, it has to have 5 symbols, a letter, a capital apostrophe.
Sure.
I can't do it, man. I just can't keep track. So, but thank you for that. I'm gonna definitely be showing my friend who, you know, let him know, look, you're a jerk because Shane Hartline said.
Hey,
so.
Hey, bud, what's his name? His
name is Stefan.
Stefan, be a better friend.
Yes.
Be a better friend.
That's like a cameo. You know, when people are like paying for cameos, you gave me one on the house. You get along with people. You seem like the kind of guy that gets along with people.
I try to. It's a lot easier. So it feels better. It feels a lot better.
Obviously you started off in acting, and you said you started off also in improv.
No, I started in professional wrestling.
Whoa.
Yeah. I started well, not the WWE, but there's like, you know, if you're familiar with wrestling, there's independent wrestling underneath it, all these little smaller circuits and companies. And that was like, you know, I was attempting to take a very non-traditional path to acting because it was my whole life. It was like acting, comedy, and wrestling. Like it was like, that was my life. And, you know, I came from a small town in Central Florida, and I was like, I have no idea how to get into acting, but my dad grew me up on wrestling, and I just was consumed by it as well. That I was
wrestling is big in Central Florida, right? The Tampa area.
Florida wrestling is always been big. Has always been big. And so I was like, I'm going to get into wrestling to get into acting, which is a lot harder of a path. Not impossible, but obviously can be a lot harder of a path. And so I did. I started training, and I started training at age 15. And by 17, I was independently wrestling full time every weekend in Florida, which, you know, I gained a lot of cool, like I learned stunts. Basically, I was humbled very quickly at a young age. And you know, but I lost my heart for it a couple years into it when YouTube came along, and I was like gaining traction from that, and I got an acting agent from that, and I was like, oh well, this is really what I wanted to be doing, and it doesn't hurt as much, and like, but it once you wrestle, like you always have like an itch for it. Like I still do things with it. I have like a YouTube channel where I do this wrestling comedy character, and you know, so I still have a very strong interest in wrestling, definitely.
Now, there's a local scene here. I know a couple of the guys. I don't know that they're still involved. But you remember Stu Stone? He wasn't a wrestler. But
absolutely, yeah. I don't know him personally, but I know who he is for sure.
He's a manager, and he works with a guy that we've had here. I think he goes by Webb, but now he also has a character named Manny Peoples. Are you familiar with them?
Not familiar.
Yeah,
no.
he's a used car salesman from Mexico that comes to LA to apparently become a wrestling champion.
I love that.
It didn't really go anywhere with that. Okay, so you did a movie. Well, you know, before that, the improv thing. So you got into improv, I'm assuming, when you came to LA and you wanted to explore comedy, acting, that kind of thing.
Well, I was fortunate in Florida. There's a really awesome comedy theater called SAC Comedy. And so like quickly after I got out of wrestling, I got involved in that theater and spent many many years performing at that theater. I took all their classes and then became a cast member and spent many years performing there. But when I moved to Los Angeles in 2011, after I did Rock of Ages, I just dove in headfirst into the improv scene here, and I was at IO West, and I've studied at every theater out here.
When you did Rock of Ages, did you witness any Tom Cruise on set meltdowns over anyone doing something?
No, it was really trippy. Like I was very fortunate. I worked, a month on that movie, and I got to spend time with pretty much everybody, like every day with Alec Baldwin and Russell Brand. It was very wild for my first booking, like my first thing I ever did. It was
Russell Brand on set.
Russell Brand was the nicest dude on set. Like genuinely every day the nicest dude.
Did he get into yoga?
No. But we hung out every day and super nice. But Tom Cruise was the only one.
Alec Baldwin, was he as nice as Russell?
He was not nice.
That's all we need to know.
No. I'm not going to talk crap. He was very nice. But he was just, there were days that you could tell he was just there to do his job, and he wasn't
a serious dude.
He's a very serious dude, and he wasn't as personal, but he's not mean in the least bit.
Listen, I'm a fan of Alec Baldwin, the actor.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has a wife named Hilaria, who just made up the fact that she's a Spanish. Maybe she is a Spanish heritage. Maybe it turns out that she is, and
Dude, my girlfriend's Puerto Rican. She has very strong opinions about that whole topic.
Okay, so speaking of that, we have LA TV. We have a large, English-speaking Latino audience.
Yeah.
And so, what's it like being, a good old? I wouldn't say old-fashioned, just
a Southern boy,
a Southern white boy, married to a Puerto Rican. Where'd you meet her, first of all?
We knew, because we both started in the Florida acting scene, and there
Orlando?
was yeah. And so we knew, at the time when I was getting into it in about 2010, there was such a small scene of actors in Florida that everybody kind of knew everybody. Right. So we added each other on social media years ago and never even met in person. Then she moved to Atlanta. I moved to Los Angeles. And 3 years ago, I moved to Atlanta for about a year or two to dabble in the acting scene there. And when I moved there, I didn't know anybody. So I reached out to her on the basis of, one, I wanted some friends, and also she's smoking hot. And I was like, hey, I'm moving to Atlanta. And then we hung out, and it snowballed, man. And
wow.
we've been together ever since. And now she's out here, which is awesome. And, so it's really it was a blessing. I was supposed to move to Atlanta to meet her, basically.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Have you picked up any Puerto Rican traditions, vernacular?
Oh yeah.
Slang?
I've been to Puerto Rico. I love the food. Her mom just spent Christmas here. So a Southern Christmas is very different from a Puerto Rican Christmas. It's a lot more dancing and maracas and music. And my family is very quiet and very yeah, I love it though. It's very different. I get two different kind of Christmases, it feels.
Your family has to have, a little bit of the sauce before they work up to some personal conversation they've been holding in all year. Whereas the Puerto Rican family, from the moment they walk in,
you walk in and you start dancing. You have to dance into the room.
Okay, but you can't learn Puerto Rican. Look, I'm Cuban. Us Caribbean, Latinos, our Spanish isn't the best. It's a little just all jumbled and stuff. So if you're gonna learn Spanish, I don't know that you want to do the Puerto Rican Spanish. Have you had that conversation with your?
No, but I will. I'll go talk to her after this.
Does she speak Spanish herself?
Yeah, she speaks 3 languages. She speaks Spanish, Italian, English. Yeah.
Show off.
I know, right? Easy. Settle down. We get it. You're talented.
Back to the improv before I ask you a couple movie questions. Did you notice here in LA when you were at iOS, for instance, the kind of invisible line, the little divide between stand-up comedians and improv? And of course, there's a lot of overlap. You have a lot of stand-up comedians who do improv, a lot of improv people who do stand-up, but there's a little cultural. Did you notice a little cultural friction between the two? Improv people, they work with rules. Stand-up comedians hate rules. And then You know, the little.
Yeah, I mean, that's there. That was always it's there. It's always there. I never really cared. And honestly, why I'll tell you this. I've always been in the improv scene out here. I was always kind of the black sheep in the improv community in a sense that like, yeah, there are rules to improv, but I didn't like them. And I follow the rules, but like I was always the guy that was like climbing up in the rafters and like jumping off of things. And like, if I'm doing a show, I'm just going to go crazy.
You're supposed to just say yes. Don't climb up the rafters.
All you needed to do was say yes, Shane. No, but like, I think that like, you know, I've always been the type that's like, I want to just kind of push the limits a bit with everything I did. I did it with a show that I had out here. And, you know, so yeah, that's there, but I never really paid attention to it. If it was a big thing, I wouldn't know.
My nickname for you now is Get Along Shane, because you get along with everybody, or at least you try to.
I try.
Need more of that in the world.
I try to.
Let me guess your sign though. Taurus.
Nope.
Cancer.
Nope.
You're an Aries like me.
Nope.
Okay, I get one more, because if any more
One
than
more.
that, it's just you seem way too nice to be a Scorpio.
I'm a Scorpio.
Jesus Christ. You're
That's funny.
Shane, you're the nicest seeming Scorpio I've ever met in my life. That being said, I now
That's
have
going to
a
be my
different view of
Twitter
you.
bio. I'm the
I better
nicest
never mess with
Scorpio.
you. You're just going to turn on me.
Yeah, for sure.
So dude, tell me about this flick that I saw the trailer of, and it's called The Haunting of Grady Farm.
You guys did something bad, and now they're coming for you.
They're stuck somewhere between heaven and hell.
They're gonna take away everything you love and play with you, and take it away, and take it away again.
Legend says that once you've been marked, there's no way to escape it.
They're coming. It's not me. It was never me.
Yeah, the camera's not really working.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of the Blair Witch Project. It's the only film in the theaters that I went to go see 3 times. Went to see it
Really?
the first time, and I had to take back friends to see it 2 additional times.
That's awesome.
Obviously, there's a little bit of an inspiration thing going between Blair Witch. Yeah, talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, the core of why me and a group of my friends made this is, you know, we're seeing so many people around us making movies and getting them sold and having premieres and doing the thing. And I've been making content, like I said, for years, and it started with like, yeah, we got all this equipment, we got all this stuff. Let's just make a movie. Like everybody else is doing it. Let's just make a movie. And that's kind of really what it started as. And so, you know, I think we met 6 months prior to shooting, and we just started like coming up with ideas, and then it just snowballs and it turns into like, you know, how I like to work is like, okay, who's got what? Like, oh, you got access to this land, and we could go to my hometown and stay with my parents, and you know, like we could, you know, that's how it really became what it did. And yeah, it was awesome. You know, it's hard to finish anything, let alone, you know, a feature film. And we shot it in January 2016 in my hometown, and like I said, everything was really kind of given to us. We raised a little bit of money, but if anybody knows anything about making movies, $15,000 to shoot a film is nothing. Like it's a lot of money, but it's nothing to shoot a feature. So we were spread really thin, and everybody was playing, you know, or wore multiple hats, and it was very difficult. You know, but we shot it, and then, you know, people, if you're wanting to make movies, know this, that it's the easiest part of the process is to shoot it. Finishing it is the hardest part of the whole process, because, you know, it's really easy to just like rush a movie out and skimp on things. And
now you're talking about like post-production?
Post-production. Yeah. And finishing
things that you can't go back and reshoot.
Yep.
Deciding
if you don't have the means. Yeah. So our post-production process took years, and it's simply because we didn't have any money. So it was like, raise a little bit of money for visual effects, raise a little bit of money for sound. And that just turned into a really long process and a mix of, personality clashes and all kinds of things. And so, we finally sold it, and it released in November, and yeah, it's rad, man. It's, we can
get it on VOD, right? Where can we see it?
It's on Amazon, it's on iTunes, it's on everything. The Haunting of Grady Farm.
That's all. And so, did you see Blair Witch Project when you were a kid? And
sure, yeah, absolutely. And one of the coolest reviews we've got is, and I love this, and is somebody was like, it's as good as the Blair Witch, but better acting. And so I was like, that's all I need to know that people like it. And we tried to just make it as grounded as possible. We tried to make it feel as real as possible. And because that's one thing that sometimes, found footage movies specifically can miss on is like, why are these people filming or filming as much, or, why are they giving so much exposition? It's unnatural. So we tried to like check as many boxes as we can to make it feel as natural as possible. And we also tried to like not wear out its welcome, like a quick bite of a feature film. It's a little bit shorter than most features, but
how long is it?
It's like I don't know off the top of my head. It's like 64 minutes. It's very
That's
short.
a perfect length for a movie like this.
A quick bite.
Sometimes you want to drag it out to get to that 90-minute mark.
You don't need to. You don't. I mean, with something like this, we didn't feel like we needed to. We could have, but we just wanted it to not wear out its welcome, and be quick bite.
I'm gonna be checking it out.
Awesome.
The trailer looks amazing, and I hope people can check it out as well. And people can also follow you on TikTok, which is how can they find you?
Shane Hartline. Just search me.
Awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap up?
I would love to. Yeah. Like I just recently, as many actors, especially during this pandemic, you're doing like side projects and, all kinds of things. So it's been a long time in the making, but I launched an apparel company a couple months ago, called Donut Punk. And,
Donut Punk.
Yeah. I have a hat on right here. Let me show you. So this is our Donut Punk logo.
Nice.
Donutpunk.com. We have all kinds of it's very 90s inspired clothing.
Nice.
I'm a huge fan of 90s nostalgia. And so I was like, I mixed my two favorite things, donuts and 90s nostalgia. And that's what you get at donutpunk.com is we got hoodies, beanies, t-shirts, all kinds of things. It's cool.
Okay. So let me think. So in the 90s you listened to, I'm going to go, some of the harder stuff you listened to was like Rancid.
No, I was never into hard stuff. Like I was so consumed with making little home videos when I was younger and a kid that I didn't really, it sounds crazy, but I didn't care about music until I got older. Like I was just like fully consumed with making like jackass tapes and like sketches and all kinds of things. So I was
but 90s bands that you maybe rediscovered, like,
oh, sure. Wow. That's hard.
I'm putting you on the spot, huh? This always happens to me, by the way, because I know so much about music, and then when somebody asks me, "Oh, okay, give me," oh God, I'm blanking out. Were you a rocker kid, a hip hop kid, a little of both?
I guess alternative like rock type stuff like that is what I like tend to go to. And
Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana.
Sure, yeah, I love some
Pearl
Smashing
Jam.
Pumpkins. Like, yeah, I'm just kind of like I put on the 90s station on Sirius and just let it play. Like I'm kind of into anything because to me it just kind of like takes me back to when I was a kid and the radio was playing. Like, and that's kind of what I try to do is just like things and music and things that make me feel like a kid again. And I think it's so important as an actor, to feel like a kid.
So Donut Punk, we can search for that and order from the website. Is it up?
Yeah, it's up. Donutpunk.com. Please do, and it would help me out during this wild time.
Awesome. You listen, man. I think you're setting yourself up for some big things once we get through this crazy storm. But I'm gonna keep up with you on TikTok.
Please do, man. Yeah,
can't
keep
wait
in
to
touch.
see the entire The Haunting of Grady Farm. Looks really cool.
Thanks, man. Great to do this.
All right, thanks, Shane.
All right.